Alright guys, in this one I want to take a step away from Arc and actually look over a Stasis build. This is one of the best builds in the game for at clear, and it's also very good at doing single target damage with the way a lot of the builds synergizes together. And on top of that, you're also going to be able to have 100 mobility, resilience, recovery, discipline, strength, and intellect. No, the thumbnail is not clickbait. With this build, you actually can achieve that, and it is honestly crazy. To me, this is one of the most synergistic builds there are in Destiny, and even with it being crazy unique, it is also crazy good as well if you set it up properly. Jump right into it. You can see we have our Stasis Warlock, and our main exotic we're going to be running is Aegir's Scepter. This is an exotic that has the perk Aegir's Call. Final blows with this weapon generate a slowing burst around the defeated target, and it also has the perk Rhaega's Refrain. Stasis final blows transfer ammo to this weapon's magazine from reserves. So with the perk at the bottom, the slow can actually freeze enemies. You kill an enemy, it's going to slow them down, then it'll eventually will freeze them very quickly. And on top of that, whenever you get kills with the gun, it's just going to put ammo back in the magazine, so you never have to reload the thing. It is by far one of the best at clear weapons in the entire game. It is arguably better than things like Wither Horde, and it is one of my favorite exotics that they ever made. Now, the exotic armor piece we're going to be pairing with this is Mantle of Battle Harmony. This has the exotic perk Absorption Cells. Takedowns with weapons that have a damage type matching your subclass element grant you super energy. While your super energy is full, you instead gain a temporary bonus to weapon damage of the type matching your subclass element. So this is going to be very good since our Stasis weapon is going to pair with our Stasis subclass. We're going to get a bunch of super energy, and if we ever get max super energy, our gun's just going to do more damage. But what's really cool is with the catalyst of this gun is when we are at max super, we can actually hold our reload button to drain our super, and it basically overcharges this gun. The beam itself will slow and freeze enemies. It does more damage. It has a bigger magazine, and it just basically turns this thing up to 100. And it is arguably better to just use that over the Warlock super itself, because it can just add clear and do a lot of damage way better than the actual super can. Plus, you also get it back extremely quick. Getting kills while it's draining will also give you more super energy. So Mantle Battle Harmony works extremely well paired with this, and you can just slay out. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, how are you going to get triple 100s on every stat? Because you see over here, our stats are definitely not at triple 100. Well, we're going to be taking a fragment called Whisper of Hedron. So dramatically increases weapon stability, weapon aim assist, and weapon airborne effectiveness, mobility, resilience, and recovery after freezing a target with stasis. Since we're going to be freezing targets 24/7 with Aegir's Scepter, we're going to always be increasing our mobility, resilience, and recovery. If you don't know, this actually gives a plus 60, yes, plus 60 to each of those stats whenever you freeze a target. It is ridiculous. It's honestly insane. So all you have to do is get to 40 on each of these stats, freeze the target, which you would do at all times, and you have 100 on every one of them. We'll get to how you have 100 intellect in a second, but the main thing you have to do is just have 100 discipline and 100 strength. I do not have 100 strength right now on this build, but it's not too difficult to get armor where you have 100 discipline and 100 strength. I just haven't done it quite yet, but once you get those two, just know those are the only ones you have to worry about, and obviously getting 40 in each of your other stats. But jumping back over to the subclass, I'm going to be taking Ice Slayer Bolt, so whenever I shatter a frozen target, I will actually freeze another target. It'll send out little seekers that will freeze more enemies. It just lets you freeze more people, lets you proc Whisper of Hedron's better. It's good for ad clear and crowd control, and Glacier Harvest. So whenever I freeze targets, I will spawn Stasis Charge. This is going to be really good as well to get some melee energy back, and it's going to pair really well with some of our other fragments and mods. Now, I do run Dust Soul Grenade just because it has the lowest cooldown, and it's really good for just shutting areas down. But for my other fragments, I am running Whisper of Fissures, so this is going to increase the damage and size of the burst of Stasis when you destroy a Stasis Crystal or defeat a frozen target. So whenever I kill the frozen targets, they're going to burst into even bigger explosions, which is even better for ad clear. I am also going to be running Whisper of Bonds, which is very important. So defeating frozen targets grants you super energy. So now your Mantle of Battle Harmony is going to be granting you super energy, and when you kill the frozen targets, you get even more, which means you can always have this catalyst, slash super effect at all times on the Aegir's Scepter, and you could just destroy things with it. Now, I'm also going to be running a Whisper of Rom, so whenever I collect a Stasis Shard, it's actually going to grant me an Overshield, which falls off after 10 seconds, then collecting additional shards adds the Overshield and refreshes the timer. We're going to be spawning shards all the time with Glacier Harvest, which is going to be really nice because we're always going to have a bunch of Overshields, which is going to be really good for the survivability of the build. Now, for other weapons, I am just running Agua PR6 with adaptive munitions and turnabout. This is just good if you want to take this into in-game content. You can take out any shields with it, but you can obviously swap this out to anything you want to and run specific champion mods, and that will do you quite well. And I also am running Resurrect since linear fusions are just the best heavy weapons in the game right now. It is Stasis, which is going to pair really well, obviously, with our Aegir's Scepter and our subclass, and some mods we'll be taking. But now, getting into mods, the first one we need to go over is the main one, and that is Elemental Shards. So Stasis Shards count as Stasis Elemental Wealth for you. So this means every time I pick up a Stasis Shard from Glacier Harvest, it will essentially give me melee energy back, and also count as an elemental well. It's very, very strong, and that's going to play really well in some of our other mods like Font of Might. So whenever I pick up a elemental well that matches my subclass type, it's going to grant me a bonus to damage of those weapons. So now that means whenever I pick up a shard, my Aegis Scepter and my Reed's Regret is going to be doing even more damage now, which is really, really cool. It obviously is going to help out with At Clear and boss damage with Reed's Regret, and more damage in general is just always nice. Now I am also going to be running Font of Wisdom. So whenever I pick up a elemental well that matches my subclass type, this is essentially going to give me 100 intellect. So since I'm picking up Stasis shards all the time, I'm always going to be getting a damage bonus, and I will always have 100 intellect. So now with Font of Wisdom and Whisper of Hedrons, you have 100 in everything except discipline and strength, and that's the only things you have to worry about getting 100 in. But that means you can have all 6 of your stats be 100, assuming you do have 40 in mobility, resilience, and recovery. It's very, very strong. It is super synergistic, and it is just crazy. Now we'll also be running elemental time dilation. This is going to let all my time-based elemental mods like Font of Might and Font of Wisdom stack. So I will be running an additional Font of Might just to have more damage over time, which is going to be really nice, just so you can At Clear a lot more. The survivability of the build with things like Whisper of Ram and 100 resilience is already really nice. So just taking more damage is definitely there. You don't really need to take any other mods based on survivability. And with this build, you're just going to be able to have your super literally all the time and just have some of the best At Clear in the game, hands down. Now I am also going to be running an additional harmonic siphon. So this is going to make it whenever I get grapple weapon final blows that match my subclass type, I would drain orb power. This will also give you more super energy. Since you're going to be getting a bunch of stasis kills, you're going to spawn orbs everywhere for you and your teammates, which, you know, just like I said, equals to more super energy. I do have a linear fusion ammo finder just for my Reed's Regret. And again, like I said, for your arms, you can run pretty much whatever champion mods you want to, because you can for sure take this build into in-game content, and you can just swap out, you know, for whatever champions or elements you need. And I do just have a thermal shock plating and a concussive dampener just for some more survivability. I have a trace rifle scavenger, which is going to be really good with this because you want to get as much ammo as possible for your Aegis Scepter. And also have recuperation, so whenever I pick up an orb of power, I get some health back. Again, now picking up a shard gives you an overshield, picking up an orb gives you health, and you have 100 resilience at all times with Whisper of Hedron, so you don't really have to worry about survivability with the build. Then finally, I also do run special finisher, just so if I ever need special ammo, you can just kind of go finish the enemy, you get some special ammo, which is really, really nice. You're going to have your super at all times, so you don't even have to worry about the part where it takes some of your super energy away. And I finally just do have a utility kickstart if I do need to get some rift energy back, which is always nice. But that is going to do it for the stasis build. There are other stasis builds that are very good, specifically the turret based build, which I will have an updated video on eventually. I just wanted to get this video out for you guys to show how synergistic it can be, especially with having all 6 of your stats being at 100. It is very strong. It is really, really fun, and it's definitely something I would highly recommend you all try out. And if you want to try it out, I will have a dim link this build in the description below. And if you guys did enjoy this and want to see more content, consider subscribing, dropping a like, and turn those notifications on. Also, if you like, join my Discord, follow me on any of my socials, all that will be linked in the description as well. But just know that watching this video is way more than enough. Every single bit of support from y'all is truly appreciated. Thank you all so much for watching this one, and have a great day. Peace.